Welcome to Stellar Sisters, the podcast where cosmic wisdom meets soul-enriching conversation.
We explore astrology, human design, and the unique blueprint of your soul, helping you understand yourself on a deeper level.
Consider this your permission slip to embrace the magic of being authentically you.
Let's begin. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Stellar Sisters podcast. We're your hosts, Shaniel and Sydney. And today we are doing an episode on Jupiter entering Leo. I can't believe it's been a year since we did our Jupiter entering Cancer podcast. It just flew by. So that's a big shift coming up. We're excited about that. Chanel's going to get into all of the astrology around it. I'm going to go through the Leo gates that Jupiter is going to hit. And then we're going to do some fun horoscopes at the end. So we're really just going to jump right into it and get into the Jupiter and Leo energy.
Yeah. So Jupiter is the luckiest planet in astrology. So this is really exciting to talk about Jupiter entering a new sign, because Jupiter is like luck and expansion and growth and hope and optimism. And it represents where we're really experiencing just expansion and luck in our lives. And so this is just a really good episode to understand like where you can look for positive growth in over the next year with Jupiter and Leo. And I love talking about Jupiter because it's my favorite planet, because why wouldn't it be anyone's favorite planet, you know? And so let's get into the date. So Jupiter enters Leo on June 30th of 2026. And it will be there through July 26th of 2027. So about 13 months of Jupiter and Leo energy. And you can think back to the years 2014 to 2015, because that was the last time Jupiter was in Leo. So as we're talking about Jupiter in Leo and as we're getting into the horoscopes, just have those years in the back of your mind, because themes that came up for you that year around Jupiter expansion can come up for you again now, because Jupiter moves in 12-year cycles. So just keep those dates in mind. So what does Jupiter represent? You know, everything that I just said. Jupiter is so expansive. If you think about Jupiter literally in the solar system, it's the largest planet in the solar system. So you can picture that large expansive energy when it enters a new house in your birth chart. It's really opening up that chart or that house. It's expanding it. It's bringing hope and faith and optimism and possibility in this new area of our lives. It is encouraging us to think bigger in that area, to trust ourselves more, it just brings like luck and expansion and hope and possibility to this new part of our lives. And Jupiter in Leo is even more juicy, because Leo is all about confidence and creativity and self-expression and joy and authenticity. You know, Leo is ruled by the sun. Leo wants to be seen. Leo wants to shine. Leo just wants to express itself for this like authentic, creative energy that it is. So if we think about Leo and Jupiter, this is really bringing that hope and optimism and faith to our self-confidence, to the way that we authentically radiate, it's bringing more authentic joy and self-expression to us as a collective. And so, you know, the Leo is also rules the heart. And so I think this is really expanding that heart-based authentic joy and connection in ourselves. So the shadow side of Leo is wanting to be seen or wanting that attention just for the sake of the attention. But with Jupiter in Leo here, it's more about encouraging us and and allowing us to reconnect with that authentic part of us that is so naturally, that so naturally draws people to you. The more you are in touch with your authenticity, the more you just naturally radiate instead of trying to radiate. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
And so it's really about like reconnecting with like the authenticity of who you are, because the more you are true to yourself, the more you naturally are able to like radiate what makes you special as an individual. And I think this is really just like highlighting play and creativity and romance and just being able to connect more maybe with your inner child and do things just for the sake of like making your inner child happy and creative expression and joy and play and pleasure.
Love that.
So I think collectively, this is like a really big boost in self-confidence, in the courage to kind of put yourself out there and be seen and pursue your dreams, being able to take creative risks and focus more on creative projects or passions that you have, stepping into more leadership roles that is very heart driven and authentic. Yeah. And just being more able to step into the uniqueness that is you instead of trying to fit into a box of what you think other people want from you. I really, really like this energy. And what I think is unique also about this Jupiter in Leo is it's happening at the same time as the eclipses in Leo. So we are having our first eclipses start in Leo at the same, like right after Jupiter enters Leo. So we have one eclipse in Leo on August 12th of 2026 and one eclipse in Leo on August 2nd of 2027. So next August. And so the Leo part of our charts, not only is Jupiter entering there, but we're also having eclipses there. And the eclipses, the South Node is in Leo. And the South Node represents a letting go, a shedding energy collectively. And so with the South Node and Jupiter there at the same time, it's interesting because it's this letting go energy, but then also this expansive energy. And so the way I interpret that is like we are really shedding and letting go old versions of ourselves that maybe we've clung to, but what's coming in is a much more authentic, heart-centered, connected to who we are now version of ourselves. That Jupiter in Leo is encouraging us to step into, while that South Node in Leo is shedding old identities or maybe old ways that we have held on to for attention in maybe an inauthentic way. So the Leo part of our chart is really, really going to be going through a really big transformation over this next year. There is some letting go and there is some expansion. And yeah, it's a really, really big part of the astrology over the next year, the Leo parts of our chart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and giving us the courage to step into whatever that authentic part is that you're being called to step into.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
And the courage to begin and the courage to start something new in that area of our lives.
Beautiful.
So tell us about the human design gates of Jupiter and Leo.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of what you touched on is a lot of what I'm going to talk about too. It's just, I love how it aligns so well with human design. But basically what happens is Jupiter is going to go through all of the Leo gates. There's 6 Leo gates, and it's going to hit all of them over the next 13 months. You can look at your chart to see if you have any of these gates. Jupiter doesn't necessarily have to be illuminating them. Maybe one of them's your sun gate or another planet that's being illuminated. And you can just see if you have the energies that I'm going to talk about. But if you don't, Jupiter is going to just help you tap into these different gifts that the gates have. And then sometimes it's going to create a whole channel for you. So it could create a channel from the head to the ajna or the throat to the G center, and you can experience what that's going to be like. So it's just really interesting. So if you can pull up your chart and kind of look at the gates that I'm talking about, you can do that on our website, stellarsisterspodcast.com. And the first gate that Jupiter is going to go through is gate 56. And it hit 56 June 12th. So when this comes out, it's going to be in gate 56. It's going to be there. It's going to go through each gate for about a month, and then Jupiter is going to retrograde and go back through a couple of the gates. But it's a good amount of time to experience these energies and kind of tap into it and use it in your life in some way. And like Shaniel said, it's just giving you like an extra juicy abundance and expansion of these energies, and you can utilize them in your life and kind of tap into the highest expression of them. And gate 56 is the gate of the storyteller, and it's here to share meaning. And it's really the ability to share your point of view in a way that educates and entertains. So think about like Jim Carrey and Oprah. They both have this gate. And they have that ability to turn their experiences into wisdom in some way. Demetra George also has this as her sun gate, gate 56, the gate of the storyteller. If you know who that
makes
is.
a lot of sense. She's a very famous astrologer.
Yeah. So just pay attention to your experiences and which ones are meaningful to you. And then you can check in with yourself, your strategy and authority before sharing them, just to see if you feel like they're going to have an impact on the collective in some way. So that is a fun gate, gate 56. And then it's going to move into gate 31. This is July 9th to August 3rd. It'll be in gate 31. This is a throat gate. And this is such a Leo gate. This is the gate of influence. And it's the ability to lead people, to lead the collective towards a better outcome by using your voice and your words. So, that is so Leo. People who had this, Jackie Kennedy and Frida Kahlo, both have this gate. And, their voices just left everlasting impressions on the collective in some way.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's going to bring up opportunities for you to speak up more confidently, to share your vision, to kind of step into being a leader in your community in some way. And stepping into that authenticity that Shaniel is talking about, and really giving you that courage and confidence to use your voice here, especially if you don't have this gift. Because if you have it, you're kind of familiar with it. If you don't have it, it's kind of giving you that extra push. And then it's going to move into gate 33 on August 3rd. So August 3rd to 29th, it's going to be in gate 33. And this is a more private gate, which when you hear this gate, you kind of don't think of Leo energy, but this is actually called the gate of privacy. And it's about taking time and space away to reflect on memories, experiences that you've had, and kind of cultivating wisdom from them. And then after having that time and space, coming and sharing, what was the most aha moment or wisdom that I've gained from that, like deep retreating and then coming back to kind of shine in the wisdom that you've gained. And Meghan Markle has this as her sun gate. And I like to think of her as a good example of this because she is very private, and you kind of don't hear, like, she definitely keeps a lot of things private, but then like think of her show on Netflix. It's like then she's gathering everything that she loves, that she likes, and she's sharing it with the collective. That show that, have you watched her show?
Yes, it's awful. She is.
Yeah, I know.
I am
It's
not
terrible.
a fan. Yeah, I am really not a fan of her. I have I tried to watch it to give her the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like she is a Leo that's not in her authenticity. That's trying to be something that she's not. And so maybe these eclipses will allow her to come more into her authenticity and who she really is, and share more of that.
Yeah, maybe
with the world, because I think that's why people don't like her, because she just seems so fake and inauthentic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, that's so funny you say that because my sister was like, "You got to watch her show," and I tried to get through a couple episodes, and I was like, I can't keep watching it. I didn't make it through a
Yeah,
season.
when she interrupted Mindy Kaling because she kept calling her Meghan Markle, and she's like, you know, it's Meghan Mountbatten or whatever, or Meghan, you know, whatever their last name is, Meghan Duchess. I don't know. She
I don't
corrected
even think
her,
I saw that episode.
and it was like, whoa, like she was like trying to be polite, but it was very snooty. I
Why
don't
didn't
know.
they just edit that part out?
I don't
I
know.
don't
They
know.
should have, because it was like, woo, the claws came out for a second. It was like crazy. Yeah.
Well, this time, this gate is just a good time to journal and reflect and retreat, kind of look back over the past year, you know, take a step back and kind of process things privately and then return with whatever it is that's worth sharing to you.
Yeah.
And
I like
then,
that energy. I just don't like
yeah,
Megan so much. Sorry.
that's okay. Not a fan either. And then it's going to move into gate 7. So August 29th to September 26th, Jupiter will be in gate 7. And this is a G center gate. So all about your identity and the direction you're going. This is just having an understanding of your capabilities, but other people's capabilities as well. And being able to lead everybody to the most beneficial outcome for all. Just really having a direction behind the voice of leadership. So this gate actually connects to gate 31 that I was talking about, that like leader energy using your voice. This energy kind of has the direction behind like where to lead people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with this energy, it's good questions to ask are just like, where am I being invited to guide in my life? Like, what future am I helping to create? How can I empower others? Taylor Swift has this gate, and she's kind of consistently using her platform to guide and influence culture in some way. But that's a beautiful gate. That's in the G center. So that is the heart, like
I love
the
that.
heart, the love center in the body graph. Kind of
Yeah.
going back to what you were saying about the heart of Leo.
I think I have an open G center, right?
Yeah, I think you do. Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like I struggle with that because sometimes I feel like I don't necessarily know what my truth is,
Yep.
because when I'm around other people, I'm like, oh, I like their energy and I like their vibe. And then I like this person and then I like that person. And then I'm like, but that's something that I'm really actually trying to cultivate more now, is like, who am I, and having like a stronger sense of self and identity, because I feel like I'm so easily influenced by the people around me, and
Yes.
I want to have more of a core identity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's exactly the dilemma for people with open G centers. It's like, who am I? Where am I going? What's my direction? You know, and you can see all of the different possibilities. And like you're saying, when you're around other people with a defined G, it's like, ooh, I want to do what they're doing. Like I could do that. You can see the possibility, you can feel it, you can step into it. But for you and other people who have that undefined G, it's really about tapping into your own authority and figuring out what it is for you that is actually going to make you happy.
Yeah.
You know,
And I
because you
think,
have a defined emotional center.
yes. And I think that this Jupiter in Leo and the eclipses, and like, I think this is all a really big part of like discovering that and stepping more into that for each of us individually. And that's kind
Yes.
of what I'm talking about with,
Yeah.
you know, all of the like letting go of false identities or inauthentic personas that we have, so we can like connect more with our truth and our heart space that's unique to us.
Yes.
to let that shine. And so that's something that I'm trying to be really intentional about, especially during this like Jupiter and Leo time.
Yeah.
And maybe especially when it's in that ego center. Because
It's going to be in the G center.
the G center.
Heart center is like both G center and ego center, kind of
Okay.
gets mixed around. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Because yours is defined, and I feel like you have a very like strong sense of like self and identity. But like,
Thank you.
it's just like you are who you are no matter where you go, and maybe it's my Gemini moon that's just so adaptable too, and like, interested in lots of different things. But that's something that I would like to cultivate more in my life.
Oh, that's so funny. You have that perspective because I feel like you have a strong identity. And maybe you just can't see it because yours is undefined. Maybe you just can't feel it within yourself.
Yeah.
But I don't see you as like someone that's like a chameleon wherever you go. Like I feel like you stick to, yourself and who you are. That's at least my perspective.
Well, that's nice. I like that you have that perspective. That's good to hear because I'm sure we are like, when you're in your own head, it's probably a lot different than like how people perceive you. But
Yeah.
also when I'm around you, I feel like very authentic because I feel like I can be myself around you, So
yeah,
I think that just like our relationship brings that out in me,
Yeah. Yeah. And this also could be an example of your 5 line. Like maybe sometimes I'm projecting on to you what I think you are or how I'm perceiving you,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of things in play with
A lot
that.
of layers. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fun to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2 more gates. September 26th to November 2nd, it'll be in gate 4. And this is an Ajna gate. It's a very mental gate. It's all about seeking answers and finding patterns and creating frameworks for systems, logical solutions. Think of Abraham Lincoln, Charles Darwin, Thomas Edison. They all have this as their conscious earth gate, just finding patterns and understanding patterns and wisdom gained through that and like helping the collective in some way. This might shine a light on giving you an answer to a solution that you're pondering. I feel like this could really give us all some kind of answer that we've been pondering to whatever you've been thinking about and agonizing over. Maybe this will give us all an answer on something, especially if you have gate 63 in your chart. This is going to create that channel. So if there's anything, which I think is you, Shaniel, I think you have gate 63. Yeah, you do. In the head center, if you have gate 63, this is just like information coming in, asking questions, but then gate 4 is going to provide an answer. It's going to provide a solution. So it's going to create that whole channel for you for about a month. So it's just really interesting to notice and just see if you do have an aha moment here.
Yeah.
And if it's more like logical and pattern oriented.
Yeah. That will be around my birthday too. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. And it's actually going to hit gate 4 3 times over the 13 months because it's going to retrograde. And this is the gate it's going to hit 3 times. So we're going to have September 26th to November 2nd, then January 22nd to March 8th, and then May 18th to June 27th. So a couple times to experience that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then finally, it's going to go into gate 29 on November 2nd to January 22nd. Shaniel, this is your Venus gate.
Ooh.
Gate 29. This is a sacral gate. And this gate's awesome. This gate is the gate of saying yes. So think sacral energy, like saying yes to something you actually love that you have, like your whole body is like saying yes to. like your creative sacral life force is like, yes, I want that thing. And it's about having the drive to follow through with whatever your yes is. Somebody that's actually going to like stick with something and make it last, make it follow through, persevere through it, having the stamina to put your energy towards it. So, what is deserving of your energy during this time? What dream is worth dedicating yourself to? And you have an open sacral, but you have this gift there. So it can kind of feel like, yeah, I do have the drive and stamina to focus on this. But for you, it can be like, okay, I don't have that consistent access to my sacral. So like, I need to know when to pump the brakes and chill and take a break.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful gift to have there because it can feel like, oh yeah, I do have this extra drive when you're focusing on something that you love. So with Jupiter here, it's like really going to expand that for everybody. Like you can really tap into this and it's going to be there for a while because it is retrograding. So it's going to be here a little longer than a month, November 2nd to January 22nd. And then it'll be back in here one more time before it goes into Virgo. It'll be June 27th to July 26th. So,
okay. I like that energy.
Yeah, I know. Me too. If you have this gate, it's a really fun gate. But if you don't have it, you can experience it for a while over the next 13 months.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be when, because my natal Venus is in Leo. So that will be when Jupiter is like directly conjunct my natal Venus.
Yeah.
Kind of emphasizing that and amplifying it.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is also bringing like excitement to grow with other people and collaborate and commit to something together. So
love that energy.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited about Jupiter going into Leo.
Me too.
I feel like I'm not always drawn to this energy. I feel like you really love it, especially because your Venus is there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, too much of that Leo energy. But I'm
it's because you're an Aquarius. You're the opposite of Leo.
Yeah, and my Venus is in Aquarius too.
Yeah.
But I'm like excited about this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Me too. I think it's like we talked about in the year ahead forecast energy, like there's just so much energy around like being more authentically ourselves and like stepping into more authentic versions of us and really leading from the heart space. And I just think that this next year is going to be transformative for us collectively in that way.
Yeah.
And I also kind of think about like AI and like how big AI is right now, but also like the counterculture movement of that, of like really leaning into like human art and self-expression and creativity. And I think that like that is part of this like Jupiter in Leo too, of making sure that we maintain that human, special, artistic, creative connection. Because that's what makes us human, that's what makes us special, and like being able to like step into that more. So
that's so interesting. And it's so interesting that the eclipses are happening in Aquarius and Leo.
I know
with that.
I know it is.
With Pluto being in Aquarius.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
It is interesting because Jupiter entering Leo, it's going to immediately oppose Pluto in Aquarius. So it's almost like Pluto in Aquarius is like AI and like technology, and like Jupiter in Leo is like humanity and creative self-expression. And they're like, kind of battling it out, you know? And Pluto's really big and powerful, and so I don't know. I'm interested to see like what happens with that whole thing.
Wow. Yeah. That'll be fascinating. Hopefully it's not too anxiety provoking and we can tap into the joy and abundance and creativity of Jupiter and Leo.
Yeah. I mean, I still think all of that is happening, but collectively on a much larger societal, cultural scale, I do think that this is something that is going to come out even more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I want to say that if you are a Leo suns especially will be like really feeling this transit. But if you have any like Leo placements in general, like you'll feel this placement. But I just feel like Leo suns are really going to feel this. It's like you are going to like really level up, really step into the spotlight, really are able to be seen, really understand what that Leo sun means for you, you know, like because Leo suns are here to fully be seen and express themselves for their authentic, creative self-expression in some way. And so Jupiter in Leo here is really going to kind of like push you into whatever that destiny and fate is for you. But all Leo placements, you know, your talents and passions and creativity will be heightened under this Jupiter and Leo transit. And yeah, so I just keep coming back to reevaluate your authentic spark, your heart center, you know, and really connect from to that place instead of connecting from what you think you should be or societal expectations or cultural norms. Like really tap into who you want to be in your heart, and letting go of that societal, cultural, familial expectations.
I love that. I feel like there's something that we're always contemplating or thinking like, am I doing that because I just feel like I should, or like, is that who I really want to be? You know, like what is that thing? And this can give you the courage to kind of let it go or step out of it and be more authentic to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I don't know. It's so beautiful. Like I'm really excited for this energy and for this transit.
Yeah.
Okay, should we get into horoscopes?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, great. I'll share my screen really quick. So we'll go do horoscopes by your rising sign. So listen for your rising sign. So we'll start with Aries Rising. So for Aries Rising, this is Jupiter in Leo and the eclipses in your 5th house. This is like literally everything that we've been talking about on this podcast. It is really the 5th house is the house of creativity and joy and pleasure and romance and dating and sex and sexuality. So it's like really revamping and reconnecting you to your creative side, your self-expression. This is really connecting to like your inner child and, you know, what you do for fun and pleasure and joy and romance. The 5th house is the house in the birth chart that's just about pleasure. It's not work. It's not health. It's not money. It's not mental health. It's just about pleasure. And so this is a really beautiful transit for Aries risings. And I think you kind of need this to balance out that heavy Saturn that just entered in your 1st house. That's like restructuring your sense of identity. This Jupiter in Leo is like really asking you to like dive into your creative self-expression. If you're single, dating and romance can really pick up at this time. And if you are looking to get pregnant or have a baby, this can also be a really fertile time for you to conceive or have a baby as well. Okay, Taurus risings. This is Jupiter in your 4th house of home and family and living situation. So is like how can you connect with your home and your living situation? Do you need to redecorate, remodel, revamp your living space? Are you looking to move? This could be a really good time to move, to find a place that feels more authentically connected to you. Alternatively, if it doesn't have to do with your physical home and living situation, this could be reconnecting with family or parents, or just cultivating a greater sense of a better family dynamic in some way, you know, taking steps to become closer with your family in some way. This could be a really good time for, healing family patterns or, dynamics from your childhood changes there. But yeah, I think Taurus is really, their surroundings and their environment really does affect them, and they need like a proper place to settle from home. And I think this transit can really help you kind of figure out what your sense of home means to you and make that even better and feel even more supported there at home. Gemini rising, this is Jupiter in Leo in your third house. This is like Gemini's time to shine with Jupiter in your third house, because Gemini naturally has a gift at communication, at speaking, reading, writing, teaching. And Jupiter in Leo is just expanding this tremendously for you. So Gemini, you are a naturally gifted writer and speaker. If any of those gifts are on your heart that you want to expand upon, this is a really good time to do that. If you are looking to step into, a leadership role in terms of like teaching or leading in whatever area of your life that pertains to you, this would be a really good time to do that. But with Uranus also entering your first house, this is really encouraging you to step outside of the box and, express yourself in a new and different way. And you have all of the tools and capabilities to do that naturally, inherently within you. But what does this new version of self-expression look like for you? And I think that you will find that and develop that over the next year. Cancer risings. This is Jupiter entering your second house of money and finances. So this is one of the best transits for money that you could have. So it looks like you could be making more money. You could be getting a raise or a promotion in over the next year or so. You could find a new job that you are making more money at, or you can be maybe like starting your own business or starting your own side hustle or some type of entrepreneurial effort that can be diversifying your streams of income with Jupiter there in Leo. But it does look very positive financially for you. With Saturn also in Aries in your 10th house, it's like this seems like a brand new big chapter in terms of like career. And so it might come with a lot of long-term effort and commitment and discipline, but it does come off with the financial payoff and benefits with Jupiter there in your second house. Leo risings, this is like your time to shine. This is the best time to be a Leo rising, with Jupiter entering your first house and the eclipses happening in Leo. So this is a big, big year for you. And I can't overstate that. This energy will be going into 2027 as well. But this is a new chapter of self. This is shedding old identities. Everything that I was talking about with connecting to authenticity, true self-expression, leading from the heart. This is you. It's like you're a snake shedding its skin this year and being able to let go of identities that don't work for you, but you have this really wonderful support from Jupiter in Leo, encouraging you to, put yourself out there and be seen, and taking off a mask and feeling free and feeling like you can breathe and you have the space to be and connect with your authentic self. But you are in the spotlight. You are going to be seen and recognized. This could be work. This could be professional life. This could be romantically. This is just like a really beautiful time for you to really be seen and have a lot of luck and growth and expansion in your life. Virgo rising. So this is Jupiter in Leo in your 12th house. So for Virgo risings, this is more of a inward journey for you of being able to go inwards and heal some psychological pain, some subconscious beliefs or patterns that have been holding you back. There's great potential for healing now with Jupiter in Leo. I think it would be a really beautiful time to find a healer or a therapist or a counselor or something like that, because you have such great potential to break down old beliefs and barriers and thought patterns, and heal some mental health or emotional psychological pain with Jupiter in Leo. So for Virgo, this might not look so like big and bold out in the world, but it looks like having the courage to maybe face your fears internally and really heal something inside of you. Because guess what? Jupiter's going to enter Virgo in 2027 in your first house of self and identity. And because you've done so much inner work over the next year, you're going to kind of be able to emerge and be seen as a brand new person and a different version of yourself, one that's way more connected to your authenticity and way more healed. So that's Virgo horoscope. Libra rising. This is Jupiter in Leo in your 11th house. This is a really great time to expand your community and your social circle and your friendships. It's like reach out to friends, connect with friends. This can be a really positive time to get involved in your community, or if there are any humanitarian or social causes that you care about, Jupiter in the 11th house can really urge you to get involved or make connections in those spaces as well. With Libra risings, your gift is how social you can be and what a great connector you can be. So with Jupiter in Leo, this is really kind of being able to expand your friendship circle and your social circle, or get involved in new communities or groups. So if there's like a class you've been wanting to take, or, a group you've been wanting to join, do it. You can put yourself out there and meet new people, meet new like-minded people that will help support your community and your social groups. This can also be, the 11th house also has to do with social media and like even online connections. So I want you to think in terms of that way as well. It doesn't only have to be local or in person, or if you do have any kind of like online presence or social media presence, this can be a really good time for growth and opportunity there as well.
I'm so excited for this one.
I know, that one's a really fun one.
Yeah.
Okay, Scorpio risings. So there's a lot happening for work and career for Scorpio risings. This is Jupiter in Leo in your 10th house of career and public life and professional life. Overall, this looks really positive for you in terms of your career. So Jupiter in the 10th house typically looks like, you're getting recognized at work in some way. You're getting a promotion. Maybe you're getting a new job, but that's, one that's so much better than the job that you currently have. But there is definitely change coming in terms of your career and professional life. This is also connected to the Saturn in Aries that just entered your 6th house of work and health. So it does look like there might be like some added pressure to your everyday work environment. Like, you might have added responsibilities, or, a time when you're really just like grinding and putting in the work and effort at work. But it looks like there is some sort of big picture payoff here for you professionally. So it does seem positive as long as you kind of stick to your responsibilities. And that Saturn in the 6th house is really, maybe helping you get more organized or disciplined in your like daily work life. And maybe that helps like with this payoff that's coming in terms of your career. But Scorpio risings, like, this is the best transit for your career. So really think back to 2014 to 2015. What was happening around your career then? Because similar themes are coming up now. Sagittarius risings. This is Jupiter and Leo in your 9th house. So this really fits beautifully with the Sagittarius rising, because the 9th house is the house of kind of our big picture beliefs and truths about the world. It has to do with our religious, spiritual, philosophical beliefs. It has to do with expanding our horizons, literally through traveling someplace new. This has to do with international travel, or figuratively through learning something new. This transit also has to do with going back to school in some way, or taking a new course, or, studying a new topic, something like that. And those are all topics that Sagittarius really loves and thrives on. So this, I think, is going to be a really nice transit for Sag risings. So if you've been thinking about traveling abroad, go do it. This is the perfect time for that. It can be a really beautiful time to just kind of like reassess and reinvigorate your sense of connection to the divine, to your beliefs, to God. This can be a time when you get really into astrology or human design or your spiritual practices. This is one of my favorite transits because the 9th house is all of the topics that I love. Travel, learning, spirituality. Yes, yes, and yes. Sign me up for all three.
I love the 9th house transits too. Anytime I've had a good ninth house transit, I'm like so into getting deeper into human design or astrology or something spiritual, and it just feels so good.
Yes.
So, enjoy that.
I know. Jealous. Okay. Capricorn rising. This is Jupiter in your 8th house. So the 8th house is really twofold. It has to do with finances, and then there's also a mental, emotional, psychological component to the 8th house. So we'll talk about finances first. Jupiter in the 8th house, this seems like this is a positive thing for you financially, not necessarily from like your work, like not necessarily from the paycheck that you get every day, but there might be some support coming in other ways. The 8th house can represent your partner's income. So they could be getting a raise or promotion, or supporting, there's more support from them financially in some way. This can be like securing a mortgage, securing a loan, paying off a loan, some kind of like positive financial thing happening, like in terms of like debts, loans, taxes, inheritances. There's just a lot of support there financially. Alternatively, this can be like that mental, emotional, psychological piece with the 8th house. So the 8th house is the house that represents transformation. And so Jupiter in the 8th house can be mental health support. So similarly to like 12th house transits, this can be a good time to seek out therapy or a counselor or a healer, because there's really great potential for you to alchemize your pain and transmute that into healing. And so this is a really beautiful transit for healing in some way. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that for Capricorn risings. I'm a Capricorn rising, and yeah, I mean, I'm in grad school for therapy, and so I'm doing so. What you don't realize about grad school for therapy is that you have to do so much internal work and like really look at yourself and examine your own biases and truth. And, to be a therapist, you really have to be very self-aware of like what is happening with you. So, so you're not projecting that onto your clients, right? And so I think that this Jupiter in the 8th house will really help me with that. and also help me help other people, which is a lot of counselors and therapists have eighth house placements. So yeah, that's how I think I will be experiencing this transit. Okay, Aquarius rising. This is Jupiter and Leo in your seventh house. So this is one of the best transits that you can have for relationships. So I think Aquarius risings are the ones who will be meeting their partner, will be getting engaged, will be getting married, will be kind of like taking that next step in terms of romantic relationships or partnerships. If you are already partnered or coupled or married, then this can be a very positive time for your relationship. Maybe, you were able to come together more or spend more time together. This could also represent a very positive time for your partner. Maybe there's some kind of big change that's happening in their life. This can just represent like something that's happening in their life. With the eclipses that's also happening in Aquarius in your first house, I think this is also about you kind of learning to balance self and other in terms of relationships. And, how do I maintain my sense of self while also remaining connected to my partner or just other people and other relationships in your life in general? How do you not self-sabotage or self-sacrifice yourself while in relationship with others? How do you balance those two? So I think that can also be a theme for Aquarius, even though there's tons of positive things happening in terms of your seventh house and relationships. There's still some kind of like rebalancing or re-evaluating those two sides, self and other. But yeah, if you are single and, ready to meet your partner, this is the transit that I met my partner under. So definitely like put yourself out there because you have tons and tons of luck in terms of dating and romance and partnership. Okay, last but not least, Pisces rising. So this is Jupiter in your sixth house. So this is really bringing expansion around work and health for Pisces risings. So maybe there has been some restructuring or challenges or restriction around money and finances. With Jupiter in the sixth house, I do potentially see some positive developments happening at work. Sometimes this looks like a raise or a promotion or a new job with Jupiter in the sixth. So I would look out for kind of positive things happening at work. This could also just look like maybe your work environment is improving. Maybe like there's a task that's removed from your plate at work that really you're feeling lighter or better or freer in your work environment in some way. In terms of like health matters too, this can be a transit when like you're really focusing on your health, or you're able to maybe find the right routines, habits, rituals around your health and wellness that really help you to feel better. Maybe you're kind of focusing or paying more attention to your health during this transit. And this can be a really great time to improve those things, to implement new health related routines, or to find the right doctor for like the health issues that you've been having, or kind of focus on your health issues more. If you are experiencing health issues, this can really give you hope and improvement. Maybe you find the right doctor, or you find the right medicine, or, something like that in terms of health matters for Pisces risings. So yeah, really positive things for work and health for Pisces. And that's it. That's everybody. So yeah, hopefully you found those horoscopes helpful and insightful. Please let me know if your horoscope resonated with you. And if it didn't, come back to this in a year and tell me what you think then. Because you might not see it yet, but there are things brewing. The universe has things in store.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for doing all of those horoscopes. They're always so helpful and insightful. And I always get messages from people saying, oh my gosh, that was spot on. And yeah, if you didn't resonate with it, there are definitely times where it's like a year from now or 2 years from now, and you look back and like, whoa, that was definitely Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter in Leo. Sometimes it takes longer to get an insight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but let me know. Let me know if that resonated with you, or if you want to go deeper with a reading, you can book an astrology reading on my website where we kind of go over everything and we can talk about like your individual chart, what's happening in your life specifically. Or of course, you can book a human design reading to go more into human design with Sydney on her website. Just go to stellarsisterspodcast.com. You can find us both there. You can book a reading. You can pull up your chart. Everything's there for you. So thank you so much for listening. We wish you a happy, happy, juicy, wonderful, expansive Jupiter in Leo.
Yes. Well, have a good rest of the day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.